Hi, I'm Tim Bartz, Internet Sales Manager here at McArthur Ford, Salina, Kansas, your source for Ford news, update, and information, including your scheduling information here on a Tuesday. We're going to go over the scheduling information for you. If you have an order placed, you got to get it scheduled for production date. And that's what we're talking about in this video. And we're going to talk about what is scheduling for this Thursday, February 12th. 2026, and this information has to do with this week only. Sometimes it's repetitive from other weeks, but for the most part of what we're going to go over today, it is for this week's production and this week's scheduling for production dates only. So if you like videos like this, make sure you subscribe with the bell notification turned on so you don't miss any of our videos. And we will be on live tonight. If you watch this live, we may be on, and you can come over and ask your questions live, or you can drop them down below if you have any questions. Now, if you're new to this and you have not watched any of our videos before, scheduling videos, I encourage you to watch this next section. We're going to talk about the different terminologies and some of the things that we'll be talking about in this that if you watch that part of the video, it might make it a little bit easier for you to understand exactly what we're talking about. So let's jump into that. Now, on this, what we're talking about here is when orders are scheduled, those orders or I should say when people put deal orders in, they're put in the order bank. And that is where dealer places all their stock and their retail orders. Now, retail order, that is a customer placed order. That is, Ford knows that is going to be a sold order for that dealer for a particular customer that ordered it. Now, a stock order, that is an order that's placed by the dealer for their stock or their lot inventory, what they would have on their lots. The priority code, that's a priority that's given to orders by the dealers. So 03 through 19 is a retail order type, and 20 to 80 is a stock order type. Now, the lower the better, which is why retail orders are always looked at first, and an 03 will be looked at before a 19. Now, 19 is a default for retails, and 20 is a default for stock. Scheduling, that is when Ford schedules an order for production dates in future months. So that's kind of what we're talking about in this video. So production date, that is when Ford plans to build your vehicle. And first it'll get scheduled to the week, and as it gets closer, it'll get scheduled to the actual day. Now, allocations, that's a big one. Allocations is where Ford gives dealers allocations to schedule their orders. A dealer needs an allocation to get an order scheduled in the order bank. So a dealer earns those allocations based on their sales of each model within their region. So if a dealer doesn't have an allocation, they can't get an order scheduled. Just have an order in there is not good enough. Now, constraints, that's an option that may be in short supply or take longer to build. And that could be based on the next one, which is the capacity. That is the planned production rate of a given motor, trim, or option. So when the amount of orders is over the capacity, that's where we get that constraint where it might take longer to get scheduled or longer to build for that reason. Now, job 1 and 2, production does get split into different job runs. If they want a particular, maybe there's a cool feature or something they want to add, and it's not ready at the beginning of the model year, they'll go ahead and start it with job 1s and then reintroduce those into job 2. Or if they get a supply issue where they can't make something, they can make those changes for the second half of the year, and that's when you'll see that job 2 changes. Balance out, that's the end of production, or what they call the balance out a particular option or model usually we see that balance out at the end of a certain model year before switching over to the next model year. All right, so now we talked about all the terminology. Let's jump into the different models, and they will be time-stamped if I have a chance to do that. And this is the first week for scheduling for those allocations that dealers earned for February to be used in those April production dates. And this does look a little different. There's a couple of these that actually give us some information that we'll jump in and talk about. This first model we're going to talk about is the 2026 model year Mustang. The order banks are open up for the Mustang, and this week they are scheduling. It is retail schedule only. They always do that the first week of a new month, which means that only retail orders are looked at first. And we talked about that in that terminology section there. They're going to be scheduled for the weeks of March 30th to the weeks of April 27th. And it does say in here that total U.S. allocations built to schedule for April production is 88%, which that means that 88% of the allocations that dealers have earned will be used for those April production dates, which means there are a few in the March. So we talked about the week of March 30th through April, right? So those first couple days of March will account for the other 12% there. Some notes in here. It does say in here, select optional GT performance package wheel set. Machine face dark as an alternative. It says please select it as an alternative because it probably doesn't say in here that it's a constraint, but I think they're just kind of looking at that there. So does in here for the availability, it says the 64V wheel, that's that 19 by 8.5-inch silver painted aluminum wheel. It's standard on 400A and 401A for your GTs. So that is available, and it says stock unscheduled is 31% of the orders, of the total orders, or no, it's not total orders. Anyway, of the unscheduled stock, I should say, is 31% or so. And then it says unscheduled retail mix is 15%. So, so there you go. So, I don't know. It's something new. I haven't seen them put that on here before. Also, the availability for the 64G wheel, the 19 by 9-inch front, 19 by 9.5 rear, carbonized gray painted aluminum wheel. That's included in the GT Performance package. It looks like scheduling percentage is about 9% of the scheduling for both the both stock and retail mix. So, and then the Night Pony package says 8% for stock and then 18% for retail. So a lot better to get one as a retail order. And then the 64R wheel, the 19 by 9.5 front and 10 in the back, tarnished dark painted alloy wheel. That's what you find on your Dark Horse 600A and 700A. It looks like the mix, retail mix is 22% of that wheel. So anyway, that's kind of the breakdown on that. So, all right. Next up is the 26 model year Bronco Sport, and they are doing retail scheduling only. Order banks are open up for 26 model year. They are scheduled for the weeks of 3/30 through the weeks of 4/27. They are saying 100% of these allocations will go towards 100% April production. So it looks like they've already built out most of their March. So there you go. No other notes there on that. Next up is the 26 model year Bronco. Order banks are open up, and they are going to be scheduled for retail and Raptor scheduling only from the weeks of March 30th to the weeks of April 13th. It does say 98% of the production for these allocations will go to April. So there's a couple percent to finish out March, it looks like. It does say in here the 17-inch dark carbonized gray alloy wheel, alloy painted beadlock forged wheel that's optional on the Raptor or included in the Raptor Code Orange appearance package, as well as the black appearance package, and the shadow black appearance packages won't be available until further notice. Talked about that last week as well. Also, the 60th anniversary package with the Wimbledon white paint won't be selected for scheduling until further notice. A bunch of these have already been built, but if you have an order in that hasn't been scheduled, it's not probably going to get scheduled for a little bit. So until further notice. So check back next week. All right. Next up is a 26 model year Mustang Mach-E. Order banks are open up. 100% of the allocations will go to April production. They are going to schedule this week for retail orders only. So no other notes on that. Next up, 26 model year Explorer. Order banks are open up. And they are going to be no scheduling this week. They're saying here that all of the allocations that are earned will go towards April production, 100% of it. It does say in here to schedule your active version sooner. We recommend adding the active comfort package with the 20-inch carbonized gray painted wheels. I think that's part of that package, to be honest. Also, to increase scheduling probability for platinum version 4-wheel drive, we recommend adding the 21-inch bright machine aluminum with the tarnished dark pockets wheel, 64D. All right, that's it for Explorer. Next up is the 26 model year Expedition. Order banks are open up. Looks like they're going to schedule for 95% of the production for April for this month's allocations, and no scheduling this week for Expedition and no notes. So next up, 26 model year Maverick. Order banks are open up. They are scheduling retail orders only this week for the weeks of 3/30 to the weeks of 4/27. 100% of the allocations will go to April production dates, not for March. It does say also important note here, the box cover soft roll-up and box cover retractable are now available for scheduling. So both of them. I think last couple of weeks it was one of them, but not the other. They're both available now. And also orders with the engine block heater will not be selected for scheduling. And that was supposed to be ready this month, but looks like they're still struggling with that. All right, next up is the 26 model year Ranger. Order banks are open for the Ranger. 100% of the production will be for April production dates. 100% allocations, I should say, will go to April production dates. They are going to be scheduled retail orders only for the weeks of March 30th to the weeks of April 13th. Right there. All right. Next up is a 26 model year Super Duty. Order banks are open up for the Super Duty, and it does look in here like it says total U.S. allocations built to schedule for April production is 77%, and they're saying that includes some of March's rollover allocations. They are scheduled for the weeks of March 9th to the weeks of March 23rd at Kentucky, and for the weeks of March 9th to the weeks of March 30th at Ohio. So availability, it says, and this is the breakdown of the percentage. It does say in here that XL version will be 30 to 35% of the production of the different trim levels. XLT will be 45 to 51% of the production for April. And then it does say Lariat version will be 21 to 26%, King Ranch 28 to 33%, which is good. And then Platinum version, it says 83 to 85% availability. So anyway, those numbers don't add up. But anyway, I don't know. But it looks like Platinum is better. That's what they're getting at there, unless I got a line off. So actually, I think they got a line off, but it does say Crew Cab it's saying 26 to 31%. So I think what the deal is on this, or it's 34 to 39%. I think those two got flopped because I believe most of the production is for Crew Cab. Super Cab, it is the same for XL, XLT, and Lariat versions is 26 to 31%. So I got a feeling that Platinum got flipped with the Crew Cab. I think Crew Cab is supposed to be 83%, and I believe Platinum probably is then 34 to 39%. So anyway, a lot better for Platinum than it had been. Lariat Premium Package looks like 18 to 23%, as well as the Lariat Ultimate Package. So that's good news. Pretty good percentage there. So when some of you are out there are like, why are we having a constraint here? Well, that's because they scheduled that 18 to 23% already. And so then the rest of the month, they can't schedule them. And that's why there's a capacity there, or there's a constraint there. 20-inch ebony black high gloss black painted wheel. That's included in the black appearance package. That's wheel option 646 is about 28 to 33% of availability. And then the 643 wheel, which is a 20-inch bright machine cast aluminum, that's your King Ranch wheel, is saying 28 to 33, which matches up with your King Ranch availability. So the availability for King Ranch is based on the fact of they're kind of stuck on how many wheels they can make. Makes sense. Wheel 648, the 18-inch sparkle silver painted cast wheel that's stated on XLT F250 350 single rear wheel is 27 to 32% availability. And then it does say in the 664L wheel, 20-inch bright with the dark carbonized gray high gloss painted aluminum that's included in the Platinum Plus package is 28 to 33% of the availability, though. And then your 40 console 40 availability is 22 to 27%. So it's a small number, really, when you think about the configuration there. The fifth wheel and gooseneck hitch prep package, 30 to 35% of the production availability there. And then your 176-inch wheelbase and 142-inch wheelbases for the dual rear wheels is 35 to 39%, and trimmer off-road is 30 to 34%. So about a third of them will be trimmer off-road. So that's the kind of the breakdown of percentages, which sometimes later in the month, you'll see why there is a constraint. Why is it limited this month? It's because they scheduled most of it already. They try to schedule a lot of it early on. So that's kind of the breakdown there. So anyway, and then they do have kind of a breakdown for unscheduled stock mix and retail. We won't go into that because of those numbers can vary based on how many orders there are placed, and we really don't know that number. So I don't like to go over that. All right, 26 model year F-150 order banks are open up, and they are scheduling this week. Does say in here 92% of the allocations will go to April production dates. To say King of the City will schedule for the weeks of March 9th to the weeks of April 27th. Dearborn, same dates as well right there. Availability here, 2.7 liter gas engine, 32%. The 3.5 gas engine will be 57%. The 3.5 hybrid is 26%, and the 5.0 liter gas engine will be 32%. I don't know if those all add up. Probably not, but that's the numbers they have. The 5.2 liter V8 supercharged engine is 25%. So that number is for Raptors in general. So that means 75% of the Raptors will be the other, right? Will be the rest of them. Raptor 37 will be 25% of between the two Raptor versions. Right. So because that's standard on the 802A. Trimmer series is 35%. Heads-up display is 20%, and the XL 4x4 wheel or tire, I should say, is 32%. So anyway, so that's kind of the percentages of production of that. So they're basically saying this is what our availability is for being able to make for production on these different breakdowns of engines, and even a couple of them are the trim levels that are most like asked for. And so this is kind of them telling you, here's availability for the month. And once we get to that number, we can't schedule anymore, right? So that's why you get that limit availability. So anyway, all right. Next up is a 26 model year Transit. Order banks are open up. They are going to schedule for the weeks of March 23rd to the weeks of April 6th. It does say total U.S. allocation built to schedule for April production will be 63%. That includes some of March rollover. In here, and then same note as last week, the 16-inch matte black alloy wheel and 16-inch sparkle silver alloy wheel are exhausted. The alternative wheel is the silver steel wheel. 16-inch heavy duty forged aluminum wheel is exhausted as well. That the other wheel that you'd want to choose is a 16-inch heavy duty silver steel wheel for that one. And then availability for the high roof long van is 36% availability. So that's kind of the breakdown of that for this month. So they hadn't stopped giving us those numbers, but it's kind of cool that they did give us those numbers for the first one here going into for those April production dates. So good luck to everybody that has an order placed. This is a great week. Hopefully you have your order in. If you've been thinking about ordering, you better get it in quick, and you might still get a chance to get scheduled this week. They're going to do a lot of the models do retail scheduling first, and then they start looking at stock scheduling. So as you noticed on a lot of these models, it said retail scheduling only. So you want to get those orders in now if you want to place an order and get it scheduled for an April production date. If you don't get it in this week, they're going to schedule a lot of dealers with allocations. Now, there are a couple models that aren't scheduled this week, right? Explorer and Expedition. So their first week will probably be next week or the week after. So you have another little bit of time to put an order in for those. But now is the time to place an order. If you're thinking about getting one and wanting a special order or a custom order, then now's the time to do that with your dealer. Make sure they have an allocation for this month. And then this is the week that hopefully you'll get scheduled. So good luck to everybody. Hope you do get scheduled. Let us know down below if you did. And if you have any questions as well, drop those down. And if don't forget to make sure you're subscribed with the bell notification turned on so you don't miss any of our videos. And hopefully you come on over and join us tonight and ask any questions you might have with regard has to do with this or anything else Ford related. So we're here for you. So until then, stay positive, be kind to one another, be kind to yourself. We'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.